All right, let's get right to it. Welcome to this executive briefing. Today, we're basically bringing the boardroom directly to you with this premium explainer. We're going to completely demystify local SEO investments specifically for service-based businesses. Look, if you're a business leader or an executive trying to navigate long-term digital marketing strategies, you already know that setting the exact right budget is absolutely critical for sustainable growth. So, let's dive into this guide from ThinkDMG and translate all that confusing marketing jargon into a concrete, plain English business strategy. It's a question that honestly echoes in conference rooms all across the state. You sit down, you review the proposals, and the variance is just staggering. I mean, one agency quotes you a few $100s a month, while another comes in quoting several $1,000s for what sounds like the exact same local SEO work. It's incredibly frustrating when you're just trying to make an informed investment decision. You're left wondering, are we being overcharged here, or is this cheaper option just going to be a total waste of our time? Well, let's unpack exactly why this happens. Here's our quick roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start with the SEO pricing puzzle, then move into the hidden drivers of cost, explore the specific investment tiers, look at the very real risks of cheap SEO, and finally, we'll build a solid action plan for your investment decision. Okay, let's jump right into section 1, the SEO pricing puzzle, and uncover why these quotes are all over the map. The reality of the market is actually pretty clear. That wild variance in quotes, it isn't magic, and it's definitely not arbitrary. It's directly tied to the size of your battlefield and the current condition of your digital storefront. Think about it. A local shop serving just one single neighborhood simply doesn't require the same strategic firepower as a multi-location healthcare group or, say, a law firm fighting for visibility across the highly competitive South Jersey and Greater Philadelphia regions. Scope literally dictates everything. Moving on to section 2, we're going to look under the hood at what actually drives these costs. Let's break down the actual mechanics of your quote. Costs stay highly manageable when you're in a low competition market, your website is technically clean, and you're focusing on just one town or one specific service. But watch how fast those costs scale up. When you face heavy competition, your website is bogged down with thin or really slow pages, and you're aggressively targeting a much wider region. For example, a contractor expanding into Cherry Hill, Haddonfield, and the Philadelphia suburbs naturally requires a much heavier investment than a local plumber who only services a single zip code. Just to give you some broad market context here, public 2026 pricing data from WebEx lists national SEO pricing right around $2,500 per month, or roughly $75 to $100 per hour. Now, while this isn't a specific New Jersey quote, having this baseline is absolutely essential when you sit down at the table to compare regional proposals. It gives you a grounded perspective on what a real professional strategy actually costs in the broader market. So the absolutely crucial point here is how we actually define this expense in the first place. According to ThinkDMG, SEO cost is the investment needed to fix search problems, improve useful pages, build local proof, and measure real inquiries. Did you notice how that's framed? You aren't just buying hours or buying random activity. You are funding a solution to a real business problem. You're paying to turn your website into a powerful asset that actively captures leads and drives revenue. All right, let's move right into section 3, the ThinkDMG investment range tiers. This is where we start matching your budget to your specific market reality. When you're planning your budget, you're generally going to encounter 4 core tiers. First up is the basic cleanup, running anywhere from $750 to $1,500 a month. That's perfect for a small business just needing fundamental technical checks. Step up to the local SEO foundation at up to $3,000, and you're covering strong visibility in one main market with service page updates and reviews planning. Then we hit the growth retainer, which scales up to $6,000. This one is built specifically for businesses competing across several towns or practice areas, needing deep technical SEO and real content planning. Finally, you have the competitive SEO program, running well over $6,000. This is the premium tier for multi-location brands, law firms, and healthcare groups requiring intense audits, complex strategies, and AI search readiness. Ultimately, you simply have to choose the tier that matches the fight you're entering. Now, beyond the tiers, you also really need to understand the pricing model itself. A monthly retainer is ideal for competitive markets where you need ongoing growth, a steady reporting rhythm, and continuous improvement. On the flip side, project or audit work, which can run anywhere from $2,500 to over $10,000, is perfect for a highly defined scope. Think things like major website migrations or performing a deep dive diagnostic audit before you ever commit to a long-term retainer. That brings us nicely to section 4, the risks of cheap SEO. Because believe me, underfunding your strategy can absolutely be more costly than doing nothing at all. Look, affordable isn't automatically bad, but cheap SEO becomes incredibly dangerous when it completely skips the vital diagnostic phase. If a plan just decorates a slow, confusing website without actually fixing the root technical issues blocking your leads, well, it's a wasted investment. If an agency hides the work they're doing, relies on duplicate or thin content, or sends you reports boasting about vanity metrics without actually making strategic decisions, you are bleeding capital. And in business, that is a risk you simply cannot afford to take. A proper budget absolutely must account for what we call local proof. For regional service businesses, this is entirely non-negotiable. Local proof means establishing verifiable authority in the specific towns and counties you actually serve. This includes integrating real review systems, localized photos, and heavily leveraging memberships in legitimate regional organizations like the Chamber of Commerce Southern New Jersey or the Greater Philadelphia Chamber of Commerce. Search engines need to verify you're a real player in the community, and building that undeniable proof takes targeted resources. So let's put this into practice. Before you sign any proposal, I highly recommend you put it through this plain English budget test. Ask the agency point blank, what exactly will change on our site in month 1? Which specific page are you fixing first? Which town matters most in the strategy? And exactly how are calls and forms being tracked? If they give you vague promises instead of clear, strategic answers, hit the brakes. A premium strategy should be completely transparent. Finally, we arrive at Section 5, making your investment decision. Let's get you fully prepared for that next boardroom meeting. As the guide clearly states, SEO cost should connect to a real plan. A larger budget shouldn't just buy you more agency hours, it should buy you better order. It should empower your team to prioritize fixing the highest value pages first, and it should help you confidently say no to low-value, distracting work. Your investment absolutely must be anchored to a wider lead generation and business growth system. Here is your definitive executive pre-quote checklist. Before you even request a proposal, take time to map out your priorities. First, start by listing your most profitable services. Ask yourself where the highest margin really is. From there, choose the absolute most important towns or counties you need to dominate. Next up, ensure you've gathered all your Google Analytics, Search Console, and business profile access so you actually own your data. Then sit down and honestly write out what is not working right now. And finally, always ask the prospective agency if they perform an audit before recommending a plan. You have to start with your own market realities before letting an agency dictate the terms. I want to leave you with this final provocative question. Does your SEO budget match the value of the work you want to win? Think about it. If you're a high-end contractor, a specialized clinic, or a premium law firm, just one good lead can dramatically impact your bottom line. Now, that doesn't mean you should overspend, but it absolutely means you cannot afford to underinvest in the very system designed to capture those high-value clients. So, take a hard look at your current digital strategy and ask yourself if it truly reflects the caliber of the business you are building. Thank you for joining me for this explainer, and here is to making smarter, more profitable decisions for your business's future.